thought I'd do a quick video review for this particular product. This is the Gorilla Case, the world's first glow-in-the-dark waterproof case for an iPhone 6 or 6S. So it's about $30 on Amazon, and I thought it'd be handy for when we go out in the dinghy or something like that. So we went ahead and picked it up. I guess if you're only going to use it for rare scenarios when you need to do a short amount of time in a waterproof case, maybe it's a decent enough option. So some of the things I do like about the case are there is actually the Touch ID can be read right through the case, and it still maintains its waterproof. I believe up to 6 feet. Yeah, 6 feet waterproof. So the Touch ID still works. That's kind of nice. You can still use the screen, so it's fairly good from a touch perspective. I will say that it's a little bit darker when you look at it. It's definitely not as bright as it would be otherwise. And I typically have one of those thin film cases over my phone anyway, and it doesn't have that same effect. This one definitely makes it a little darker. Another kind of neat feature is the back is supposed to be glow in the dark. I don't know, I guess if you lay it down somewhere that could be handy. Haven't really noticed a whole lot of need for that, but those are kind of some of the nice things. The other nice thing is it's pretty easy to get in and out of the case, and this is shockproof, so it says it can withstand drops, and I suspect it would certainly help with that as well. Now the cons, however, there's quite a few, and what I didn't care for about this phone is, like I said, one, the screen's a little bit darker than I'm at least used to, so you'd have to turn your brightness up for sure. When you're looking at the screen in any kind of light, you will notice your reflection. You can see your reflection pretty good in it. The other thing that's a little discouraging is you have no access to any of the ports on the bottom, which I guess is a waterproof device. That would make sense, but there's not even a flap that you can close on it. So in order to charge it, you do have to actually take it out of the case itself. You do have access to the button on the side, so I can click the button on the side to turn the power off. I can also click the button on the side to increase the volume or decrease the volume. Ironically enough, on this side there is the low volume, high volume, and then there's the little switch that you would think you would be able to switch up and down for the little multi-function switch on the side of the iPhone 6. Turns out you can. It actually doesn't allow you to do anything with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off so you can kind of see how it works. So to take it off, it's really pretty easy. You basically just pop this thing off. The black cover sits inside of a small groove within the lower cover. So it's just a two-part cover, pretty easy to get to. And what I'll do is I'll kind of show this so you can see the difference here. So you can see the brightness of it here and the brightness without it. I do think that there's a pretty significant difference there. So the phone just pops right in and out of the back case. So again, pretty easy to use. You just pop this thing into the back case of the device. And here's what I was referring to before. So there's a cutout right here in the side of the device that gives access to the volume up and volume down buttons. But if you can see, the actual multi-function switch is behind the edge of this. So the cutout goes to right here. Let's see if I can zoom in on this. The cutout goes to right here, and that multi-function switch is right behind that. So really has zero access to it. Same with the charging port. There is actually there's an opening on the lower case for it, but there's not an opening in the upper case to be able to put your charger into it. One of the other things that's a pretty big con on this particular device is, you know, they did a good job of putting this little circular thing in the middle so you can kind of see the Apple logo, and then also there's the small section right here for the LED flash and the camera. So when you put your iPhone in the case, the camera lens does line up to that. The downside, however, is the picture is horrendous. So that's what it looks like of me there. And just to give you a compare and contrast, I'm going to take that back plate off so you can see just how clear it really is. So you can see how clear it would normally be, and then on the case, despite the fact that it's designed to be doing underwater photos and whatnot, you can see just how unclear that is. It's really pretty horrible. Because of that, it makes it essentially unusable for that particular function. So all in all, if I were to rate this, I would say I would only buy this if you wanted to keep it like on a boat or in your car. If you're ever walking in somewhere and you know it's going to rain and you just want to protect it, you could pop it into here. You'll have to take it off of whatever other case you have. Pretty easy. Again, there's just a groove here, so you pop this thing into the groove and work it all the way around, and then you push this into the groove itself. Honestly, I was a bit disappointed in this, so I was reluctant to actually put this underwater with my phone. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my phone out of it, close it up, and put some tissues in it, and then I'll just submerge it in a bucket of water in the sink so I can see just how waterproof it is before I risk my, my iPhone 6S. So I went ahead and just stuck a napkin down inside of the device itself and snapped the case on good and tight, and we'll see what happens here. The good news is I don't see bubbles. That would have me pretty concerned. I'm not pushing hard, but I'm rubbing along the front as you might if you were using it. I went ahead and dried off the outside of this, and I want to see what it looks like now inside. So I'm just opening it up. So I will say, to its credit, this is completely dry, so from a waterproof perspective it did seem to work. So it won't be my everyday carrying case, but it is something I'll probably keep in the dinghy, and I can pop the other case off and put this one on if I happen to know that I'm going to be getting pretty wet, or frankly risk maybe, the weather gets rough and maybe falling in. So at $30, there's certainly a lot of other dry storage bags that are a lot cheaper. West Marine and Academy Sports and whatnot sell some for about $10 or $12. It's almost like a little Ziploc bag type of thing. You can pop it in that. Would certainly do the same thing, and honestly give you a little bit better of a picture as far as the ability to take a photo underwater, at least in wet conditions. So there you go. There's the review. All right, I do need to let everybody know, we did receive this product from the manufacturer at a discounted rate for our honest and unbiased review of the product. So, in some cases we've done these before, and the reviews have been phenomenal. In this particular case, I think the product, it does what it needs to from a waterproof perspective, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's a great everyday carrying case because it's rather inconvenient for the things I highlighted a bit earlier. But I did want to make sure everybody does know that we did receive this product at a significantly discounted rate for our unbiased and honest review for this. In the spirit of full disclosure, I wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that.